So 2.7 problem set. 1 to 16, not really too bad, but I do like to take ones similar to like 14 because there's three numbers involved. So let's go ahead and do that. 3 and 1/5 times 5 and 1/6 times 1 and 1/8. Okay, again, when you're multiplying mixed numbers, you first of all have to change everything to improper fractions. So let's change this to 16 over 5 times 31 over 6 times 9 over 8. Alright, so because we're multiplying, we don't have to have common denominators, but we do need to see if we can reduce things before we multiply all this, because who wants to multiply 16 times 31 times 9 and put that over 5 times 30 times 8 and then try to reduce it? So product of primes here, 16, product of primes is that. 31 is already a prime, so we're not going to do anything there. And 6 is 2 times 3. 9 is 3 times 3, and 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So we can cancel 3 2's with these 3 2's, this 1 2 with this 1, this 3 with this 3. Looks like that's it. So we've got left 31 times 3, which is 93, over, all we have is a 5 there. Alright, and again, this is what a lot of students get wrong, is they stop right there. We started with improper or mixed numbers, we have to end with mixed numbers. So 93 divided by 5. 1, 5, 4, bring down the 3, 8, 40, 3 is a remainder over 5 from right there. And that's the answer that I'd like you to put down. So the multiplication is not too terribly difficult. One of the things that might get a little bit tricky is some of the divisions. So let's look at one like number 26. We have 7/8, and then they're asking us to divide the quantity 1 and 1/4 divided by 4. That almost looks like a plus sign in my book. So, okay. So we're going to do what's in the parentheses here, and then we'll do this part here later on. So 1 and 1/4 divided by 4. So again, we're going to change that into an improper fraction. 5 over 4 divided by, let's make that into a fraction, 4 over 1. Flip that 4 over 1 upside down and multiply. So we're going to invert and multiply, and that gives me 5 over 16 for this part right here. So now what we have is 7/8 from right there divided by 5/16, or 7/8 times 16 over 5. Alright, so product of primes again. 7 is a prime, you don't do anything to that. 8 looks like that. 16 looks like that. Over 5, we can cancel those 3 with those 3, and we have 7 times 2 over 5, and 14 divided by 5 is going to be 2, 10, 4, and that's it. So we have a remainder of 4 and a 4/5. So we are done at that point. So we did all of our division and got that for an answer, and the only thing I did here was change my improper fraction to a mixed number, since that was what I had in the original problem. Alright, so 31 to 34 just asks you to find the product by just multiplying those together, and then they've got some applying the concepts. Lots of those aren't too terrible. Let's look at 44 real quick. We've got a new car, and it can travel 20 and 3/10 miles on 1 gallon of gas. How far can it travel on a half a gallon? So we are taking 1/2 of 20 and 3/10 of, multiply. Okay, so 20 and 3/10 of, or 1/2 of 20 and 3/10. So we're going to go ahead and change 20 and 3/10 to an improper fraction. So that's going to be 203 over 10 times 1/2. And that gives me 203 over 20. Okay, so let's go ahead and change that. 203 divided by 20. So 20 goes into 20 one time. 1 times 20 is 20. Then we will subtract here. 20 minus 20 is 0. Bring down the 3. 20 goes into 3 0 times. 0 times 20 is 0. Subtract. 3 left over. That's our remainder. And we have 3 over 20 there. So 10 and 3/20 of miles per 1/2 gallon of gas. And that's what they're looking for number 44. So that ought to get you started for your problem set on 2.7.